Hey, Escalation Squad! Hope you're doing absolutely amazing today. It's John from Reddit Escalating Stories, and we're back with another wild Reddit drama that just keeps getting worse. If you love watching these stories escalate out of control, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell. Means the world. Let's dive straight into it. The story comes from Puzzle-headed, Wish 538, and it says, "Am I the asshole if I tell the police, my parents, that my sister has been stalking someone for years and might kill her? Am I the asshole? I genuinely feel stuck. The other Am I the asshole doesn't allow violence, which is how I found this subreddit. So, I, 23F, have a sister, 25, and I'm really worried about her. Her ex cheated on her 5 years ago with this woman, and ever since she's been obsessed and stalking her. At first she said it was to see if she got karma for what she did, but now it's turned actually psychotic and maybe violent. And I don't know what to do, or if I should tell my parents. My sister started dating this guy when she was in high school. He came to our house a million times, and we all saw him as a part of our family, especially when they stayed together after graduation. 5 years ago, he cheated on my sister. She found out a few days after their 5th-year anniversary, when they were like 20. The girl he cheated with knew he had a girlfriend, but that didn't stop her from hooking up with him. My sister was, of course, devastated, but she gave him another chance. And a few weeks later, he ended up breaking up with her, and she found out that he never stopped talking to the other girl, even though she forgave him. When she was exposing the side chick in the beginning on her Snap stories, I, of course, understood and supported her as her sister, and found the girl disgusting. I thought my sister would get over it with time, and was there for her for the beginning. After 2 years, I was shocked she hadn't moved on. She forgave her ex, and even slept with him after the breakup, but she always hated the girl. The girl blocked her everywhere, but my sister still watched all her pages and knew everything she did. If the girl posted herself at a restaurant on her story, my sister would drive to it and eat there, and purposely walk by the girl's table to make her ashamed of what she did. She also knew where she lived and her work schedule and followed her around all the time, and would constantly tell me how much she hates her and how she's never wanted someone to be dead so bad. I found it very concerning. And when I told my sister she needs therapy and that our parents should know how badly and long this has been affecting her, she shut down completely and told me she was just joking and hasn't told me anything since. That was 3 years ago. My sister has dated casually briefly since, so I assumed she moved on. It has been 3 years since she told me anything about her stalking and hating the girl, and I had completely forgotten about the situation until this past weekend. My sister had a work trip last week and asked if I could feed, walk, and basically babysit her new puppy, who needs a lot of attention. I said sure, since I'm doing all my classes online this semester, and stayed the week at her apartment. It's a few cities away, so I've only gone to see her a few times since she's moved here. And as a sister, I made myself welcome in her apartment and slept on her bed. I always slept on the left side, but on Saturday I was cold and wanted to sleep on the right side, which is closer to the heater. And when I laid my head down, I felt something uncomfortable and realized there was something inside one of her many pillows. Inside of it was a composite notebook labeled Anna. Not her actual name, but the girl her ex cheated on her with. When I saw that, I was shocked. I hadn't thought of the name in years. The journal was so scary. Basically, she never got over the situation and has been waiting on karma to get the girl back for being the other woman, but it hasn't. I didn't keep up with the girl's life, But she moved away years ago, got married, and makes lifestyle content for what looks like fun, since she doesn't have many followers on any of her pages. Her life seems perfect. My sister goes on and on about how much she hates this woman. But what scared me is that my sister flew out to this girl's city to stalk her in person and figure out what house she lives in. She tried to figure it out from what she posts of her house and area during a time she told us she was visiting her friend who was sick. I was so shocked she would go that far. And it wasn't just one time, she's done it twice, from what I read. Also, the notebook I found is dated and only goes back to May of 2024. So, I assume she has multiple other ones, none I could find. She stated in it, "The only way she will get over it is if the other woman suffers, and since karma hasn't gotten her back, my sister will." There was also a lot of other weird, threatening things in there, like how she describes wanting to watch her pass away. I was so weirded out, and when my sister got back Monday, I tried to act normal. I know I'm crazy, but a part of me thought she left the state to kill the girl. I went to view the girl's Insta page on a burner I made, and she's posted since, so she's alive. That's when I realized that fact, that I could think my sister would seriously do that, is insane. And that if 5 years later she still can't get over the situation, she needs a lot of help. I'm worried for her, and also the other girl. I never thought I could feel bad for her, but if only I could describe better what my sister wrote. I truly feel like she may be in danger. The issue is, I'm scared if I tell my parents who don't know anything, and that my sister got over it way before I did. There's not much they can do, just based on my word alone. My sister has a job, apartment, her own life. I didn't take the notebook. I obviously don't want her to know I know, so I have no proof. I wish I took screenshots, but I was so in shock. All I could do was read. And when I finished, I put it back and felt dirty. I don't know what to do. Would I be the asshole if I don't speak up? Should I try to go back to get more proof and then tell my parents so they can maybe stage an intervention? I'm so stressed. Commenter: You checked to see if she was alive? OP replies: It's at her apartment. She doesn't live in the same city as us. I feel so dumb for not taking it or stupid screenshots. I'm so dumb. I can't stop crying. I've never felt so bad in my whole life. Commenter: Just want to say that no matter the outcome, you are not at fault. Do what's right always, but don't blame yourself for not being 100% calm and rational when you discover something like that. You're human and allowed to freak out. Hindsight is 20/20, but we don't live in the past. Talk to the police and see what you can do. But don't feel down about what already happened, Kay. You have your heart in the right place. Commenter: You're the asshole if you don't report her. She's threatening to kill someone. And if she's been acting unhinged, and you're aware that it's possible she could actually hurt or kill this person, you are just as responsible for it happening as your sister is. Commenter: An accomplice is defined as a person who knowingly, voluntarily, or intentionally gives assistance to another in, or in some cases, fails to prevent another from, the commission of a crime. Go to the police. Your sister is obsessed with this woman. She is laying the blame squarely on her while forgiving her ex. She needs help before she actually hurts this woman. You would not be the asshole. You need to intervene. Your sister will be angry, but hopefully, after she gets the help she so desperately needs, you can rebuild your relationship. Commenter: Everyone else has very good points. But I want to say this. Now that you know, and especially now that you made this post, if you don't act, then you're complicit. Anything your sister may do in the future, you can be charged as an accessory. You knew and did nothing. so you need to act, not just for this woman's safety or your sister's mental health, but for your own well-being. Want a criminal record? Accessory to murder? Then you need to say something. Commenter: you're the asshole if you say nothing. That woman's life is in immediate danger, and your sister is extremely mentally unwell. If you say nothing, and the worst happens, you will never forgive yourself, nor should you. Tell your parents at once. Do not let them minimize what is going on. Your sister is dangerous and is breaking the law. I highly recommend that you try to get the notebook before you confront your sister. Or at least get photographs of it. You also need to notify this girl that your sister has been doing this. She needs to take precautions to protect herself. When you and your parents confront your sister, record the conversation. If she refuses to see a doctor, you need to report her to the police. Update: thank you to everyone who replied to this and gave me a lot of feedback on what to do. This was almost a year ago, and a lot has happened. A lot of people recommended that I tell my parents, so I did. They were so shocked, but said I must be overreacting, and that maybe I misunderstood what I saw. That my sister isn't crazy, and that it was probably an old journal that I found. My mom even told me it was rude to snoop. I immediately regretted telling them and begged them not to tell her, and they promised they wouldn't. A few weeks after that, I noticed my sister blocked me on Insta, and my texts weren't going through. I found out that my mom slipped up the night before and told my sister over the phone what I told her. And my sister told my mom that I'm crazy, that she doesn't even journal anymore, and that I was just trying to paint her out to be a bad person. My mom told us that we were being petty and to just drop it, but my sister completely cut me off and didn't speak to me for months. I just moved on with life. A few months ago, my sister was arrested. She got extremely drunk and went to her ex-boyfriend's house and tried to break in. There is ring camera footage of her confessing her love for him, saying that she will never leave him alone, and then he has to open the door, and her trying to kick it down. This man is married with kids. This was crazy. I never thought something like this would happen. When my parents found out, they immediately believed me, sat me down, and asked me to tell them everything that I read again. My mom told me that she just didn't want to think that it could ever be true, that my sister was still crazy and stuck on this, and that's why she told me that she didn't believe me at first, but now she does, and they both apologized. My sister got out of jail on bond, and when she did, my parents told her that if she wanted them to pay for a lawyer, they would have to see her journals. She refused, so my parents kept their word, and my sister got a public defender. This is when she reached out to me and asked me to beg my parents to pay for a lawyer since her trial is coming up. I told her that we were scared for her and that we love her, but she needs help, and that she won't let us help her. There's nothing we can do. She ended up getting 2 years of probation for what she did. She stopped speaking to my parents as well after they didn't pay for her lawyer. We found out 2 weeks ago that she had arrested for moving out of state while still on probation. She broke the probation rules. Where did she move? To the same city as a woman she was stalking. I can't even DM the other woman because her page has been private now for a few months. When I told my parents this, they both started crying. She had a warrant out for her arrest and was recently just arrested last night. We have no idea what's gonna happen now. I hope that this is the wake-up call for her, and she gets the psychiatric help she needs. Commenter: contact the prosecution and explain your sister's past behavior and your family's concerns. It's not necessarily true that she will get better mental health care in a psychiatric hospital. She would get care in prison, and she needs to experience confinement. Her victims deserve to be safe. Commenter: As someone who works in a forensic psychiatric hospital, I say that we're pretty good at managing risk for those found not guilty by reason of insanity. For those who have a severe mental illness at the time of around the time of the offense. Of course, that would be only if she willingly chose to do an insanity defense and expert psychiatric evaluators decided she met the criteria, etc. Commenter: Dude, share the info about what she's written about the other woman with her probation officer. Your sister has consequences for her ex, but the other woman may be oblivious and in danger. Or, is the AP married to the ex? Your sister already cut you off. Come clean. OP replies, No, the other woman is married to another man. For all I know, she has no current connection to my sister's ex still. And how can I contact her, PO? She doesn't speak to me, and it's not like they'll just tell a stranger her info, right? It's just confusing. Commenter: You can reach out to the county sheriff's office where she was convicted and placed under probation. They can direct you to the probation officer assigned to her case, or they will reach out to you if you leave your contact information, I assure you. They will be very interested in your information. Stalking is a crime, and they can at least monitor her behavior and notify the local police, sheriff's office. Commenter: Not the asshole. Please don't wait for your sister to actually physically assault or kill this woman. Like others said, go to the police or the prosecution and tell them about the journals. If you're not willing to do that, then contact the ex and tell him and ask him to please contact this woman and give her a heads up, at the very least. Your sister needs some serious downtime in a facility for everyone, including her sake. OP replies, But I have no proof. When she moved away, she claims she sold all her stuff. I think she destroyed them. Commenter: The reality is that your sister needs a full psychiatric assessment. If she ends up in prison, it won't make a difference to her behavior. All it will do is give her time to fixate and plan. Anyone, for whatever reason, could become the next victim of another obsession, and she could escalate further without intervention or treatment. I think your parents need some professional advice on how to ensure she gets the help by taking the legal route to force an evaluation. If your sister ends up in the prison system and isn't fully assessed or treated, she could end up serving her time. And when she's released, she would be free to go back to her usual behavior, and the whole cycle of obsession, arrest, and prison starts again. OP replies, Right now, we know the county she's arrested in, and my parents are speaking to lawyers. We really want her to get help. Escalation squad. I'm actually shaking. 5 years of secret journals, flying across the country to hunt her down, writing exactly how she wants her to suffer. And now, she's just been arrested, after moving to the exact same city as the woman she's been stalking. At what exact moment did you realize this sister is capable of murder? And real question, if you found that journal about someone your sibling hated, would you go to the police right now? Or try to protect your family first? Drop your answer below. I read every single one. If this one left you speechless, smash that like, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell. Because some stories don't just escalate, they terrify. Love you all. Stay safe out there.